Nothing. So
What?
how about this Wheel of Time series brought to you by Amazon Prime?
Well, yeah, unfortunately, it lived up to my expectations.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty weak. I I must have stopped right before right at the part where it really tailed off.
Yeah,
It kind of picked up for a second where I kind of liked the Matt stuff for a second.
yeah, that's what my wife Erica was saying. He was the only character she liked because he had something going on,
Hmm.
She was saying a lot of the other characters you didn't really care about because you didn't know anything about them.
Yeah, and the thing is we have to know is Rand is the most important character.
Yeah,
He never
yeah,
was necessarily my favorite by any means, but he is.
yeah, same. Actually, Matt is my favorite, but
Yeah, yeah. I did kind of like it. They did his dad dirty though.
yeah, what
Yeah,
was
they
that?
made him like a piece of like a drunk, and I was like, man, that's pretty cold. But did him real bad. His mom's just like a crackhead or something.
Yeah, yeah, she was a crack.
Um,
There's so
I
much,
I
dude.
didn't mind how they changed some of the things in the beginning, but it really did. I feel like that walk from the farm to town was huge.
Yeah,
You see the fade, and like it kind of shows
yeah, it builds a
him and
lot
his
of
dad
tension.
don't talk. They're like they feel each other's emotions. They
Yeah,
don't really talk. Even though this is a show for modern day, I mean, there are some parts that still don't need to be put into words like that, and their relationship isn't a wordy relationship.
yeah. And I mean, what with the setup on the road, like when I'm reading that in the book, like I'm looking behind me,
Yeah,
like
goosebumps.
you're there, yeah. And he teaches him about the void and all of that. That was a
Yeah,
huge part.
I did like how he knocks the arrow though. Like
Yeah, he
like
was
the
quick
one
at
little
that.
glimmer of hope in there when he
Yeah.
knocked the arrow.
Mhm.
Oh, on one more happy note, not that I don't know if the character necessarily matches Tam, but do you recognize the guy who plays him?
I do, but I can't remember from what. Dang it. But
Can I drop it on you?
yeah, sure.
You ready for it? He's the um he's the lunatic guy on Braveheart. He's the crazy Irishman with the shield.
No, he's not. No, no,
Yeah,
he's
I'm pretty sure that's him, man.
that's
That movie was
awesome.
made in '95. Yeah, that's crazy. The accent,
Yeah, I guess. I guess.
but I don't see it matching. His dad's like stoic, and I didn't want to compare it too much to the book because I know not everybody reads the books and stuff, and that's cool.
Yeah.
So it's like, but these
But
people,
even then, I mean, I don't know. So a big part that was awkward was Lan and Moraine are standing there in the forest, and he says, "Oh, Faden, 100 Trollocs are coming." So that brings me two questions. Uh, First, if I've never read the book, how do I know what a Fade is or a Trolloc is? I guess you might guess there's some kind of monster, but I mean, in the book, it was more of an ambush, and that makes way more sense because if he had known that they were coming, why would you not go warn the villagers?
yeah, right away. I did actually write that part down too.
I
Yeah,
mean, he just
and
said, and
speaking of,
when he sees all the goats slaughtered, like,
yeah,
why are you not warning the village
yeah,
that
Land's not stupid.
danger? Yeah,
And speaking of Land, he is kind of weak. Didn't he get knocked down? Wasn't he like
yeah,
on the ground at
yeah.
one scene? I'm like, I
One
remember
was on top of him.
what?
One was on top of him.
Yeah, but he never gets knocked down. I
No,
don't.
not in the, no.
Yeah, one time I remember he ever falls, and that was like 9 books in, and a
Yeah,
building falls on him, an
yeah,
actual building, and
yeah,
and he lives. But
yeah.
I was pretty frustrated with that. He kind of not land.
Not like a rock. I mean,
Yeah,
and what the hell was the he gets into the tub with her butt
that
naked
was not
facing
right.
them?
Yeah, that was not right at all.
Clearly showing off, like
Yeah.
that made no sense unless
Yeah,
they're couple.
I could kind of see Rand and Egwene hooking up. That's fine, whatever. But
Yeah, you gotta
you know,
hook in some people, although I don't know that
yeah,
it made sense to do it in the in common
yeah,
room.
yeah, yeah.
I
We
mean,
heard
isn't
that.
there a
Was
bunch
it
of people staying like, I don't know, I guess it was,
20 feet away?
I don't know. And I mean, just right there when everyone's partying in the inn and they barge in, Lan and Moraine, and Nynaeve is like, uh tell us your name, stranger. And it's like they're just coming to stay at the inn. They don't have to tell anyone like
Yeah, it
what they're
seems
up to.
forced.
Yeah.
The acting seems pretty forced. It definitely, I could tell it was on a set also. And I was trying not
Yeah.
to be picky and not to notice that, but I could definitely tell it was on a set. You know, it didn't seem that natural.
Yeah. One thing that we kept noticing was this, just it seemed very trying hard to emphasize like women unity and I know girl power, and
Yeah,
I don't know, like it, in the books, obviously the women, they're very strong, and there's a good split between male and female in the books throughout.
yeah,
Each has their own strengths and all that, but this seemed more like, I don't know, like the women were drinking in the pub like
yeah,
men, and there was a bunch of like, there was a scene where they all work together and stuff.
yeah.
I don't know.
I that comes like way later after when they have to fight. Like
Yeah,
that didn't seem that was definitely just like that seemed like it was for the masses, or just for
yeah,
them
yeah.
today's standards stuff.
And they were pushing that kind of stuff again with hooking Egwene into being one of the Tavaren, one of the four
Yeah,
chosen.
yeah.
Like, and
Oh,
she was just a tag along who wanted to go on an adventure. I
yeah.
don't
She
even think
follows them.
Moraine didn't want her to come in the first place.
Yeah, and I didn't even think. I thought if women had that kind of aura or whatever, they kind of took the Aes Sedai route. I thought Taviran were men. Am I wrong in that? I thought the
I
Taviran
think
were
I don't know 100%
wrong. It
sure.
doesn't
I
that
have to
doesn't
look it
necessarily
up,
matter,
but
but it kind of threw me. It did confuse me. And I mean, I probably don't know everything about every book. The more I break it, I'm like, it just is my standpoint, a lot of this stuff, just the way I took it when I read it.
but it's pretty clear in the book that she's targeting three young men.
Yeah. Yeah,
Three,
that
I mean, that's the whole, yeah.
and
Um, and she does not say until like six books in, or I don't know, not six, maybe it was a third one, about the Dragon Reborn. She didn't
yeah,
show her cards like that
yeah,
that
yeah, they
soon.
really sped that up. And I do once again, I'm trying to understand them, trying to get the audience captured.
Yeah.
Could have followed it more naturally, and the whole what was it when the Aes Sedai were channeling at that dude at the very
Mhm,
beginning scene? You don't
mhm.
even know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You has no
Like
they don't
like
know Aes Sedai are or what they're doing, or there's
again,
no
you would have to have known the book to have that give you any context. Like, again, Eric, my wife, she thought that when the village was going to be attacked, it was going to be the witches coming to attack. She had no idea. She's like, well, what happened to them?
yeah. Hey, I was gonna rope her in real quick too and get her standpoint on it. One last thing about for the three, we talked about kind of the Rand and the Matt. What about Perrin? What
I
was the
mean,
whole that was right when I or started it back up when I hung up with you. That whole scene, they're like, oh, and Perrin's married. So I'm like, no, surely there's just some girl he's infatuated with. Nope,
yeah, or
he's
yeah,
married.
being,
And isn't
oh,
he
and
the
she
most
was
careful
what?
person in
I
the
don't
world? He's not gonna accidentally chop his wife in half.
know.
He's so
No,
careful. Everything he does is careful.
And I mean, of course, you can change the character some, I get it, but that is a drastic change to make him married because he's going to carry that death through the whole series now. Whereas
Yeah,
in the books, he obviously we know later on he gets involved in some stuff that changes him
yeah,
and makes him more dark. But
yeah,
this is going to be like hanging over all of that. Not to mention uh, not to mention who he meets later on. I mean, it just
yeah.
yeah,
How is
just
that even?
doesn't
That's
really.
exactly what I thought right away. And why even bring her in if she's
She
only
didn't
gonna
even
let?
say anything. What he said, "I love you," and she said, "I know you do."
Yeah, it did. That was forced. Yeah, that there was no need to even have her if she was gone in 5 minutes. I mean,
Yeah, no
I don't know if they're trying to
connection.
give him some kind of like depth, parent some depth, some pain, but he's gonna get pain.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
for
He's gonna
sure.
get. He
He's
probably
like
has the most
the
pain.
one you want to be least almost.
Uh huh. So from an outsider's perspective, what would what would you think?
Do you want me to get her and see what
Yeah,
she says? Give me a second.
yeah, sure.
Are you sure you want
Sure.
to? Hi.
Hey,
Uh, I'm not sure.
So yeah, Josh just wanted to ask, like, from someone who doesn't have a bias from reading the book, what did you think of as if you were just tuning into the show? You know, you saw a fantasy thing coming on Amazon and you wanted to check it out.
Um, I I would probably not have watched the whole thing. I would have probably stopped when I don't know, maybe when at the point when I see the girl and the guy talking about romantic stuff, I would be like, oh, this is too much. This is going nowhere.
yeah,
But overall, I think like from the start, I was telling Scott, that's where you show your audience what to expect, what the theme is going to be. And the
yeah,
theme for it was women. So you have these women telling the man, well, these powers just reserved for women, and if a man touches it, he has to die, like only women. And so that for me set the theme. And then the next scene that we see is women welcoming a woman into their club,
yeah,
and which I did not know. I thought that she was going to get powers or something. I did not understand what that meant to be part of that. Then the next scene, I think it's the guy with his dad, and then the next one is in the tavern, and I see the girl coming in and the women cheering for her and inviting her to the brawl club, but women versions of the brawl club, to have drinks with them. And so I
yeah,
was like, and then, and not only that, when finally the Rosamund Pike and the other guy arrive to the tavern, who are supposed to be a threat, these hoods and everything so mysterious, so deep, which I thought was a little bit too much. But anyways, they come in, and the first person that greets them, you would think, oh, well, they're a threat. I would say it's a man, like, but no, it's a woman. Like, what are you
yeah.
doing here? And it's
And
like,
really
okay.
abrasive. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
And then another part of women, let me think, because there were many instances that I kept seeing. You could be so there's two themes that I saw coming up very often, and I was getting tired of them because it's not thing that I haven't seen somewhere else.
hmm,
Yeah, the women power was one. Obviously, that was a little bit more annoying than the second one. And the second one is the generic of there's a chosen one, and we don't know
yeah,
who that is. And I kept repeating and repeating, and I just wonder, why is it so important about being the chosen one? Who is the chosen one? They just never mention it. And then when there's a threat luring for the village, I was hoping, my guess was, oh, the witches from the first scene are going to attack. And then
Oh, yeah.
and then I see monsters, like, where did they come from? Who are these
Yeah.
guys? Like, I thought there was just one threat. And so the scene also where they see the dead bodies, that's when I pay attention for the animals. I pay attention because I thought like they're gonna use this as a gimmick to show you that there's a real threat, that there's blood, and this is diabolical in nature. But then there you have the party of the village, and people are being slaughtered. And where are these guys? Why didn't they do anything about it? They just said, "Oh yeah, they're coming," and
You mean Lana Moraine? They didn't
yeah,
put
Yeah.
yeah.
out any warning or
They and
Yeah.
I also wondered. So they're looking for this special person, but why are they not interacting with them? Why aren't they to find out who he or she is? Why are they just standing there like weirdos and observing? Like, what are they expecting to see? What is the sign that this
So
is a
would you say, like, just from watching it, that the whole thing's kind of choppy? It's not like very fluid, the whole show, and just in general, is it kind of like leaving, is not flowing together very well? Because that's kind of what I was getting too. It just kind of seemed like it was here and then it was there. It wasn't really like one fluid motion.
yeah, that's a
Even for
good way to
me
put it.
watching it, I was like, wait, how did they get? Because I was expecting them to be on the farm, and it seems like I
Yeah,
don't know if they did go to the farm and they didn't show it because they were kind of back at their house. Remember,
I
Landon or
think he
Randall?
said I gotta get back home or something.
yeah, that, but not only between scenes, like chopping, like how did I get here, but also within the scenes, it was not choppy, but slow. Like, are you wasting minutes of this show and it's not gonna get me nowhere? And I know already, because I noticed, like you said, it's gonna be choppy. I know that the next scene is going to have a little relationship to whatever deep dialogue they were on the before scene. So
Yeah.
why should I pay attention if if we even within the scenes it's not important? So the next scene with this connection to the former scene is not gonna be important.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the character that I like, I told Scott, from all the ones that are supposed to be the protagonist, the only one that appeared to me as interesting because he had characteristics of a person, not just an archetype, was the guy who has sisters and
Matt,
family. Mhm.
Yeah.
Family problems, just because I felt sorry for this guy and he seems protective. He was
Yeah.
showing it. But from the other characters, they're very generic to me.
Yeah, me too. That was the one good thing I wrote down was about Matt. I was kind of
yeah,
pleasantly surprised about the whole, even though it's not what I was used to, because it's not the same as in the books, his role at all, or his kind of
no,
background,
because
but I didn't hate it at all. It was pretty cool.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was okay. I mean, in the book, so they kind of tried to pull it into the movie in the show. In the book, he's a mischief maker, right? So he gets up to pranks and stuff. Their way of doing that in the show was by showing him steal something like that.
Yeah.
He wasn't a thief. I mean,
Yeah.
he might have taken
Oh yeah,
something as a
the
joke and
thing, the gold
but
little brooch or
yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
he didn't steal to sell it,
Yeah.
That's not really the kind of mischief he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, the family part of it was, yeah, that
Where
was
like he has kind of this dark side, or not this dark side, but this kind of dark upbringing where he whatever he stole and this. But even if I'm thinking about it from the book, and if he gambled maybe to give his sisters a better life, I never thought of it in that aspect. Like,
yeah,
with
that's
the
a good
sisters. Like,
point.
oh, that is pretty cool that they did that. But then again, he was not a responsible person at all in the book. So I'm still kind
No,
of thrown with that. I'm just kind of liking
like
what
that
part
would
of that.
almost fit Perrin more.
Yeah, seriously, it would have.
I think Matt was the one who had kids or kid siblings in the book, but
They
um
both. I think Perrin had maybe a younger, or maybe you're right. Maybe his were like nephews and cousins.
No, I think he might have had sisters. I think he had a younger sister.
Yeah, I think you're right. They didn't talk about his only really in that one book.
But yeah, it just seems he's more of the sensitive type, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, there's not the best start.
But where I have a question that's just coming to me. Where was Tom?
Yeah, he wasn't in there because they had Padan Fane, right? Padan Fane.
Yeah, and he was well, first they kind of shrug it off like he comes there all the time, and
Yeah,
typically it was meant like he was a huge deal.
it was a big deal.
We're
Yeah.
getting a peddler to come in. Like, this is crazy. We haven't seen him for years.
There were like almost fire, like you could, it was palpable.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you could feel the energy in the air. Yeah.
But they were super excited because a Gleeman was coming too. So it was going to be a crazy party, but that's missing
Man, there
completely.
was no Tom. I kind of kept thinking he was right around the corner too. And then when it ended, maybe he'll be in one of these first, I don't know. I feel like they would have already built towards him if he was going to be in that opening part, because they're already about to leave town now.
I guess they could meet him in another city. But I mean, it wouldn't be that far off.
Is it a character already appeared?
Yeah, he appears in the village. No, he wasn't in the show, but in the
Tom
book
wasn't.
he appears.
I might say they might even make him a she.
Well,
Could
I wouldn't
be.
be surprised. Yeah. Oh, there was someone. Oh, yeah, there were a couple of people who I didn't quite understand what they were going to be doing. I don't know. Definitely that. Remember, there was that girl who Matt was talking to when he was gambling. I guess maybe I thought she was going to have some role, because remember he was talking to her and then they kind of went away. I didn't know if she was going to be coming back or who it was. I was trying to place her.
Yeah, I think she was just a
random.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm probably going to watch the second one and then just kind of wind down for the night, just see if it goes anywhere or not.
I hope so. Yeah. Tell me.
Yeah, well.
It feels like a pity because they wasted too much time on emphasizing women power and community of women. What they should have done, especially from a fantasy genre, and if you're gonna show a little village, a shire, you can call it, I would have expected more a community kind of feeling, like this is wholesome and look at how the town is all related to each other and they are close knitted, kind of like how Lord of the Rings start with the parade of the lights. And
how they nailed it in that, didn't they? God, I never realized how good we had it.
Yeah. I mean, and that's a movie too. It's kind of a different dynamic, but the way they built the community, for sure. You feel like when they're all getting ready for his birthday party, like,
it's like, hey, this isn't Terran Ferry.
Yeah.
They're supposed to get along.
Yeah.
Shit.
Exactly.
Anyways, if that even comes into play. But yeah, I'll let you know how it goes. Thanks for being the first appearance.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe the only one. Thanks both of y'all.
Well, we'll see.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
Later, man.
Yep. Bye. Bye, Erica.